So we'll talk a little bit today about small business, the realities, the statistics of what does small business look like in Arizona. We're going to talk about some of the challenges they're facing because everyone in this room is in the business of solving challenges. And then hopefully we can give you some ideas and some opportunities that will help your business, because most of us in this room are small business owners, and also help grow their business at the same time, because that's what it's all about. Look at Arizona, and we say Arizona is a small business state. But when you go to a company that's got 50 employees and $5 million in revenue, and you talk about them being a small business, they say, I'm not a small business. I have a growing business. I have a thriving business. I have a great business. I'm not small. They don't want to be considered small. They want to be considered big. They want to be considered valuable. They want to be considered important or making a difference or innovative or customer service oriented. And so when we start to talk about small business, we turn them away. So as we talk about small, one of the things that's really important is to define what is small. Well, in general, the closest definition is a small business is a business that has 500 employees or less today, where you don't hear the challenge that, our economy is suddenly starting to turn, the state is going to have a deficit, the taxes are down. We've got all of these challenges financially all of a sudden. We went from being the golden child of the country to, we might have feet of clay. What we're saying, what the governor is starting to say at the Capitol, and what's being recognized around the country, is that the greatest diversity of businesses, and it is diversity that protects us in economic downturns, comes from the small business community. So helping small businesses grow, which is what everybody in this room would like to be able to be part of, okay, is good for our economy as a whole. Small businesses are the ones that are driving the growth in this country. Big businesses are not. So very often you hear about economic development where they go out and say, well, we're going to go and we're going to get Google and we're going to bring them to Arizona. Or we're going to go get Procter & Gamble and bring them to Arizona. Or we're going to get Raytheon and bring another division to Arizona. Well, that's great, but for every big business that you bring in, another one's going to contract or merge or be sold or move elsewhere. So the net new jobs that are created by the big businesses are zero. Small businesses, given the appropriate care and feeding, grow to big businesses fairly quickly, if they want to, if that's their plan. Natalie mentioned that I rearranged my schedule. I just got back from Detroit. I was born in Detroit in 1960. Harold Robbins was writing books about how wonderful it was to be in Detroit. Anybody ever remember reading the Betsy? It was the place to be. I drove through the city of Detroit yesterday on my way to the airport to come and be with you guys this morning. Detroit now has less than 800,000 people. It is the fastest shrinking city in the United States. The suburbs around Detroit have the highest bankruptcies, highest rates of foreclosure, and one of the highest jobless rates in the country. The bad news is all those executives think that they can now become consultants. But why did that happen? It happened because Detroit was a big business economy. The resources went to support the big businesses, to attract big businesses from other places, to focus very, very heavily on that sector. And as that sector faced challenges, which every industry does, we all know it goes in cycles. And they happen to have multiple industries that hit the same cycles at the same time. Our challenge in the small business community is to make sure we keep the focus on small businesses, on growth, on diversity, so that we don't have someone standing in a room 40 years from now saying, you know, at one time Phoenix was the 5th largest city in the world, or in the country.